Welcome to our third Datos New York City event. Excited. This one is, I think, always going to be the best one because it's the Hispanic Heritage Month event. Woohoo! So again, just our mission is to unite and strengthen the Latino community passionate about data globally, providing a space for learning, collaboration, and growth in the field of Tableau and data analytics. So it's not just Tableau, even though it's a Tableau user group, it extends more than that. So meet the team.
Brenda, I work at the Information Lab.
Sabrina, I also work at the Information Lab. Nayeli's online. Nayeli's at Davis Polk. And Jose Tauta and Lydia couldn't make it today, but they also make up the team. So our agenda today is we're going to go through a visit of the day that Brenda got awarded with last year. Was that a year ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. So last year for Hispanic Heritage Month. Then we're going to do a little interactive survey just to kind of get to know you guys a bit more. And then we have our panelists. We have Caryl here, and the other two are online. Hi, Caryl.
She's at the door.
Oh, and then we have some closing remarks. So, leader for speaker.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for coming today. I know this is a very special month for us. In case you didn't know, it's Hispanic Heritage Month, which goes from September 15th through October 15th. So we were very excited to have this meeting during this month and just celebrate, come together, and just talk about data and other things that we love. So today I want to talk through this viz I made last year for Hispanic Heritage Month. So just a little bit of background on how this came to be. About a year ago, I was waiting to get a project, so I had a lot of extra time on my hands, and I really wanted to make a really fun viz centered around Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm really into Hispanic Heritage Month. I've been involved in a lot of different organizations at places where I've worked to organize different Hispanic and Latinx employee groups. So it's always something that's top of mind for me. Sometimes we'll host a party. So yeah, it was something that was very much on my mind, and I decided, it would be really fun if I could combine that interest or that excitement for Hispanic Heritage Month along with my database skills. So that's how this project came to be. Initially, I kind of went through different rounds of thinking of what this project would look like. I went on the census website and found a lot of information. If anybody's ever been on the census website, it's extremely overwhelming. There's so much data you can get from them. Initially was maybe thinking about doing a map of Hispanic-owned businesses in New York City. If you didn't know, there is a small business administration in the city of New York, and they actually could have data on minority-owned businesses, not just Latinos, but other minorities as well. So very cool. But then I was like, a map, I guess that's cool, but I wanted something a little bit more fun. So this idea came to me in the shower.
Like most great ideas come to us.
I probably spent 2 weeks building out maps, and then I was taking a shower, and I was like, what would be really cool? Some form of waffle chart. And then I was trying to think of what could be a good symbol. And I came up with a papel picado, which, if any of you are familiar, it's a traditional Mexican art, which is very delicate and intricate, and I have no idea how people can manage to do that without completely destroying it while they're cutting it up. I will say I am aware that this is Mexican, but I am Mexican, so I was like, it's okay. I know that, not all Latinos in the U.S. are Mexican, and I know that's kind of an annoying assumption that some people like to make, but the reason I chose this is because it also reflected my background and my culture, and I really like the fact I was kind of reading more into it. Another holiday that is very near and dear to my heart is Dia de los Muertos, and that's part of the tradition as well. And I love that it's a pre-Columbian art, so it is very much rooted in our culture. So had that idea, cool. Now how the hell do I make that happen? So that's where another of my hobbies kind of intersected with this. So for those that know me, I'm a very big crafter. So one of the hobbies that I sometimes like to do is cross stitching. So I have done a lot of cross stitching just for fun. And one of the tools that I use is a cross stitching app that basically lets you make different designs. And I'm like, wait, this is exactly like cross stitching if I'm trying to come up with a waffle chart, because it's literally just like a pixel art essentially. So I pulled up my handy dandy cross stitching app and basically just spent like one evening plotting different designs, and I wanted it to be exactly 100 squares so that it would be represent the waffle chart out of 100%. It did take me quite some time. I just sat on the couch while we were watching TV and like went through different rounds of editing until I finally landed on this. So this was the final design, but once I had this, there's the challenge of how do I turn this into something, because this is just a picture. And that's where I found this website. We can probably share it in the chat, but essentially it lets you upload images and then you can calibrate it so that it outputs a file that has coordinates. So if you are ever interested in doing something custom, so not like the typical waffle chart, or it's not just for waffle charts, literally anything that you can think of where you want to plot data onto a grid in a like artistic form, this is a great resource. So from this, I was able to generate the kind of template for the design. So once I had that, I wanted to kind of figure out what I wanted to highlight in my viz. And I came across this article from the Pew Research Center. I love going on their website because they have a lot of really cool survey data, and I don't think they're great about publishing CSVs, but if you're doing something that's a little bit simpler, like you can just kind of copy and paste. So I found this page, and it had different statistics about Latinos in the country, and I liked it using over the census because they also looked at things beyond like, where do you live, but also exploring things like education, home ownership, and things like that. Once I had that, I actually started wireframing something, and this is kind of the rough initial idea. Obviously, it didn't end up looking like this, but I was trying to kind of get in my mind, wrap my head around how I was going to do this. And then I also was out looking for a color palette. I basically just searched up a bunch of images related to Hispanic Heritage Month, and I really liked this picture, so I popped it into like Adobe Colors and extracted the colors, and I decided to I ended up changing them a little bit, but it was very much inspired by this art. Okay. And then the final product, as you can see here, I basically chose a bunch of different facts and then plotted them onto the waffle chart. And I know sometimes it can be kind of hard to see, but essentially the dark colors represent the parts of the waffle chart that are shaded. So like in this case, 81% of Latinos are US citizens. So you would see that reflected by 81 of these squares being kind of shaded in a darker green. So yeah, that was my more or less how I came to be. I did use Canva to like add this kind of custom banner at the top. Yeah, I don't really love the Tableau fonts for like things like this, so I just wanted to add something a little bit more fun, and I felt like this font really kind of matched the vibe of that inspiration photo that I was working off of. But yeah, this was a labor of love. It took a couple weeks to get like the actual design. Actually, probably took me like 3 days to do, but it took me weeks to kind of come up with the idea. And I had a lot of people here at the office who I was like, hey, what do you think? Like, do these colors make sense? So I'm very happy that people liked it. And yeah, I'm hoping to work on something this year. I kind of have an idea already. So stay tuned. Maybe I'll share it. We can share it. Yeah. So
We have a comment from Christian that he loved it and it reminds him of Encanto.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me of Coco, like the beginning of Coco.
Yeah. I watch Coco every year.
And I still cry every time.
Yeah. Such a beautiful story.
It really is. Okay, so we're gonna thank you, Brenda, for showing us that. It was beautiful, very unique. And yeah, just celebrates our culture, which we love. So now we want to learn a little bit more about you guys that are all here, our comunidad. So if everyone can go on their phone and put menti.com and then enter the code below. Okay, we ready? Okay. So the first question, let's see if you were paying attention to Brenda's presentation. Ooh.
So we're educated. Some of us. Others have lived this. But there's still education.
I love the shapes that this is making.
This is very cute. I like this one.
Okay, I think we're missing 3 more people to put in there. 2 more.
I'm not sure.
I think there's one last person. Okay, we're all in. And the correct answer is 20%.
Yeah, it should be much higher.
Yeah, the 90% is definitely where it should be, but yeah, so 20%, which is not very high. Okay. This is everyone here. So this one is timed. So you have to put in your answer a little quicker. Okay? I'll read it out loud. In 2024, what percentage of the US workforce were Hispanics or Latinos? Hispanic Latinos. So what percentage of the US workforce? The correct answer is 18-19%. So 15 to 20% is the correct answer. All right, this is the last one where it's time, so don't worry. So based off of that, what percentage of Hispanic Latinos in the US work in data tech fields? Oh, you guys were quick. I made the same mistake on this one. So the percent is between 8 and 9%. So 5 to 10% range.
So does that mean 20% of people who have a degree? So 20% of Latinos have a degree.
And of those 20%.
Half of them work in tech.
But what is considered a data? Like economic?
That depended on like the sense. I can send you whatever link I used. But yeah, it would be any data or tech. So that could be IT services. That could be even just data entry, things like that. Okay, so now we want to learn more about you. That was about the whole population. So this is kind of an attendee survey. So this is a chance to put where your family is from.
No, we're not even on the map.
I know you have to kind of. It's too small.
We're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Are we that high up? I don't know. My finger's too big, it covers it. I don't know. We're close to no, a little is closer, and then we're next to people. But I can't get it to print. We're struggling.
We debated putting just the Americas, but as you can see, I'm happy we did it because we have other countries here as well. Oh wow, we have a lot of Europe over here. I'm gonna put my cursor for me. I'm right here. I think there's just 2 more people that are online. Yeah, we have the Caribbean here representing. Are these two different areas in Mexico?
Colombia.
We have Colombia. I don't know if this one also is trying to be Colombia. Or maybe Brazil. I don't think we have Venezuela. And then over here. Latinos in Asia. Yeah, this is so cool. Just to see, look at all of us in this room, and this is where all of our families are from. But yeah, Latino love has no borders. Okay, now another question, just to make you think, or just to show your thoughts about data. But what is one word that comes to mind when you think of representation in data? Are you able to put more than one?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. I was afraid that you couldn't. When we tested.
Word, you can retype it and then it gets bigger.
Oh, nice. So are you putting the same word many
I
times?
might have put one word. Well,
Okay,
I
well-
didn't put it there. I was just like, oh, that's a good word.
Okay, when we're done, I definitely want to take a photo of this because this is a beautiful word. Yeah, a beautiful word cloud. Bad Bunny. Who was that?
I know who did that one. She's been trying to convert people.
She's like, where is that bunny? I thought he was making an appearance.
Don't ruin the surprise. Dale. That one's perfect. Benito. Okay, I think we're done. Let me take a little. Beautiful. Okay, so it looks like the biggest word here is understanding, which is, I think that's amazing that we're able to, just with communities like this, feel like that. So thank you guys. All right, next one. Just to learn more about you guys, how many years of experience do you have working in data?
Again, what? I just work in data.
Word.
Data is a very big umbrella.
I'm gonna say my entire career.
I'll need to put footnotes at the bottom explaining what everything means. Okay, so we have a few people who are new, which is cool. Why are you laughing?
We are always consuming data.
Yeah, that's true.
The life experience is.
Yeah, and it's going to be great to hear from all the panelists and about how they started working in data and representation and all of their experience. So for those who are new, hopefully hearing that will be nice and motivator. Okay, so it's kind of even between these three, and then there's a few people here who have been working in data for a really long time. Cool. All right. This is a little fun one. If you had to ban one chart forever, which would it be? I put a few I would call offensive charts. It's the squares. It's all one square, and it's like, here, let me show you. These.
Oh, ew.
My thoughts exactly.
Yeah, definitely that one.
There's one that's worse than that.
What? Pie charts? This is just a glorified pie chart, guys.
Right.
A donut is a glorified pie chart. For those that put word cloud, would you consider our word cloud? Would you ban that?
I couldn't say word cloud.
I feel like tree map is
Right, exactly.
I know.
Definitely very nice.
Word cloud.
Does it let you save it at the end? Nice.
Oh, it looks at all the different slides.
Yeah.
Oh, super cute.
Okay. I think that was the last one. All right. Thank you guys. That was very fun and eye-opening. And now it's time for the panelists. Yep. Okay, let me set this up so they can be on the screen. And Caryl, you can sit right over there. Okay. Nayeli, I think I'm gonna. Oh. Sorry. Wait, let me see what the chat has been saying, just so you guys know. Nayeli really liked your visualization.
Dion, yes.
Dion,
waving the
yes.
flag over in the chat.
We got.
I have my pin on. You can't see it.
Vato bandera.
Always. I always have it on. I'm always
20 plus years, Christian. Wow. That's amazing. 20 plus years working in data, and I'm correct. Yeah, so the 5 is like nothing. Yeah, I thought about putting. Oh, wait, is it on?
Yeah, I turned it on. I think I used it.
Yes, I hear you. Yeah, I had the option of actually putting the chart as a pie chart, but then I was like, oh, the donut chart is nice, and I would never ban a donut chart. That is why I didn't put that as one of the options. Okay. Okay, so thank you, panelists, for coming. Do you just want to give your, wait, here we have a little slide. We have Christian online, we have Caryl here, and we also have Yamil online. I don't know if you guys just want to say hi, and then we can get started with the questions, give a little where you work, where you live. Do you want to go first because you're in person?
Sure, I will start. So my name is Caryl Marie Perez, and I do want to put out a disclaimer. I work for a major transportation agency that you all may be familiar with, but I am not here representing them or saying anything on their behalf. So I do want to make it clear, but I do have a lot of experience, especially being an executive within the organization, and do use data a lot. But I do not have a traditional, or what you would call a data role. Like, my title is director. So there's no software engineering or a data analyst or any of that. But I do oversee a group of analysts that do gather a lot of the information from our usage and present that to me in order to make informed decisions, which I believe is the most important reason to use data, right? To make the appropriate decisions. So that's a little bit about me, but yeah.
Okay. Christian, do you want to go next?
Hi, can you hear me well?
Yes, very well.
Okay, hi everybody. Thank you for the invitation. I'm really happy to be here, Datos. It's an honor to be here and see how it's growing, Datos. My name is Cristian Saavedra. I am originally from Barranquilla, Colombia, living in Tampa area, not in Tampa. I am between Orlando and Tampa, right in the middle. I am also really active in the Tableau community as a data dev ambassador, 5 years doing that. 5 years, I get the ambassador this year too. And this year I was honored to have the visionary title. Then I'm, again, really proud, really happy to be a representation in the Latin community. We was a few. And then be there is a big responsibility, but at the same time, a good place to show that we can do it. Apart of that, in my professional life, I'm working right now in a consulting company for Tableau that is called CO Matrix. My position is about create solutions. That my position is like a leader of the solution architecture. And as I basically, I am in many hats. I am working in many areas because the spirit that I have the time to be in many roles. Then I'm happy to share with you. Thanks for your time.
So here, so Yamil Medina. So hello everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. So I'm from Puerto Rico. Actually, I was in Puerto Rico this last weekend. I am the one that put Bad Bunny there in the chat. So blame me. So there was too much Bad Bunny this weekend back in Puerto Rico. it was a little crazy over there last concert. Originally from Puerto Rico, but living in Orlando, I would say that's 24, 25 years. I moved from Puerto Rico to Orlando. And now I'm transitioning between Orlando and Atlanta. Just recently joined Chick-fil-A on the corporate finance side. And I worked there as senior lead analyst, from Tableau dashboards to training, working as a project manager for everything related to BI, related to the corporate finance team, a lot of financial planning, a lot of like budget stuff. So yeah, super happy to be here. I lead also the Florida Tableau user group. This is gonna be, I think, my 14 year or 12 year, something like that, leading that, and also with Cristian in Comuni Datos for many years. Wonderful people there, like Cristian and so many others. Love the community. I've been involved with Tableau probably, I don't know, I will say 14, 15 years by now. Long time. I'm also a Tableau ambassador. This is my 5th year. And I love the community. I hope that we can keep doing this for a long time. And it's just part of, learning more and meeting great people like everybody that is here. So thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Just going to start a bit about personal journeys. So we're going to start with you, Caryl. Who or what were your biggest influences in your career as a Latina in tech and analytics?
So I would say my influence probably comes like many of us Latinas, our family, and more specifically my mom informed a lot of that resiliency, having a strong work ethic, also like just opportunity and possibility within the workforce. So I would say that has been a key factor. But also in my personal life, like traveling and experiencing, like, let's say data, right? Data is universal, right? And you get to really recognize that when you're traveling, and that's one of my biggest passions. So yeah, I would say my family definitely informed that, and a lot of the communities that I have been involved in, I continue to learn. I feel like we're always on a journey of learning more, and so that's why I love to be involved with communities such as Comunidad. Also co-founded our own Halo Tech community for Dominicans, which I forgot to say. Yes, proud Dominican here. So that is a major influence in my life, the Dominican culture, that joy that we bring everywhere, that positive energy, that like limitless, we can do anything, and like let's just go get it attitude. So yeah, I would say that those are my influences.
Beautiful. Let's see if there's any questions here. Oh, okay. Christian said so true. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest things about Hispanic culture, just being surrounded by your family. It's very community based. Okay, now from you two, Yamil, you can go first, but can you share a bit about your path into data, what drew you in, and what has kept you here?
So I started in data because when I actually studied finance and I have a master in finance. So obviously finance is all about data, graph analytics. So I started my journey working with a lot of data related to the stock market with Bloomberg. I actually worked with Morgan Stanley and a few years, and I just got a passion for, honestly, it was just graphs, like it was just like line charts, bar charts, and things like that, studying just pure data from different companies. And so it was just all pure finance, not BI yet. A lot of Excel at the beginning, but it's still, a lot of things that we have to do. And we have to use different software to look at the trends of stocks and bonds and things like that. But the thing grew up on me, like I wanted to know more, I wanted to do more. I joined from there. I joined Comcast or NBC Universal here in Orlando. I work for the theme parks, and that's where I learned BI. That's where they gave me the chance to learn Tableau, learn BI, and then that it was when I said, oh wow, this is what I want to do. And I really like creating dashboards and creating all of that. And through the years, crunching the numbers, creating something that it was meaningful for people and that I can create an impact. And that kept me in this space. I love the insights, the decisions that others can do with that. And honestly, with all of that, the community, when you have a community like Tableau community, the data community, the data fan community, people that are willing to share, teach, and improve, help other people, that kept me here. And the thing about I can give back the same way that others helped me in the beginning. That's what it keeps me here in the community. That's what I like. And my goal is to keep doing the same thing. I mean, I love it. I like it. So I don't think that would change anything. Thank you.
As an executive, I love dashboards too. So thank you for that. Yes, very important.
Cristian, do you want me to repeat the question?
Sure. It's funny because I know Yamil like 5 years ago, around 4 years ago, and I didn't know that he was working in that company. I know from Orlando in the future, but not the beginning. Thank you for sharing that, Yamil.
Too old.
My life is the other way. I flip the coin. I begin in IT. Basically, I begin with consulting company for a company that was working for Oracle. Then I begin with databases. The person who installed the databases, created, developed software on the databases. Then doing that, I begin to be like a really active in what is data, because data there was in the databases. From there, I moved to a call company, basically a big contract that we have with the call company, and I begin to learn how to use the data to take decisions. Originally, that doesn't have the names that have right now. When I was there, basically, I was in an area that is data warehouse, but this area is more as a BI. And that is the first moment that I touched the data as a take it and make sense with the data. Then from there, I moved to the capital and Bogota in Colombia, and I began to work in a company, and I stayed there 13 years in a telecom. And by the way, almost everything that we know about data comes from telecom. Everything that is related with how to study the subscriber, the users, and all of the data that you are doing right now with all the analytics that is using with subscriptions, subscribers, all of that. I did it like 15 years ago or something like that, more in telecom. Then really, really good experience, because there we have the big issue of data, how the like handle a lot of data, and also to make sense and take decision with that. And from there, I moved to the central that data warehouse that is in US. And in basically between this transition, I changed it to the business side. Then for me, it was the best experience because it's a complementary between basically a technical person and also a person who understands the business and can take decisions and do something with the data. And that is my journey. From there, basically, I moved to Tableau as a consulting and be in other places like Cardinal Health as the person who was working in also in business as a manager for take decision with that. Reef, that I was in a unicorn company that is basically making a lot of good, nice stuff. Like, for example, be the last mile in the connection. Reef, in some moment, they are selling ice cream and you receive it without melt. And you know how data you need to make that happen. It's a lot of things that you need to do with that. After that, the question is about, hey, all of this experience, why you continue doing that, or how you begin to be in this area. I think that one thing for me that is important is be a Latin person. The difference between our culture and US culture and other culture that I also work with is to be patient, have a passion, you really care what you're doing, have you never stop, always is something else that you want to learn, something else that you want to do. And that here is more related with curiosity. But it's not only curiosity, it's something more bigger that we have in our Latin culture, and that is that basically bring me here in data. Is be and use it and understand more what else I can do with everything that I know, and also the thing that I don't know yet. And that is that keep me. Is anything else in the question that I forgot? Sabrina, sorry, I told too much. I told you. Where were you? I cannot hear you, by the way.
El botón rojo. No. I mean, that last part was, I mean, also super, super important to hear because, I mean, us Latinos have gone through a lot of hardship, and the reason we're all here and successful is because we never give up. So that was beautiful to hear. Okay, thank you guys for both of those. Caryl, I'm going to ask you another question.
Yeah.
Have you faced challenges around representation or visibility in your field, and how did you navigate them?
So I don't really have a problem with visibility. I feel like my presence is pretty powerful in all rooms that I kind of enter. I do make myself known, which is not necessarily, the way that we're raised to be, right? We're raised to be very humble and whatnot. But in terms of representation, especially in the field that I'm currently in transportation, and more specifically in the electrical department, I am one of the few, and actually I am the first female manager in both of the roles that I've held in my current employer. So being a female and Latina in an industry where there's not many, obviously the representation is not there, which was also the reason why I felt like being even more visible was important, right? Because now I was being that representation for others that could see themselves in that position as well. And because of my visibility, I did get, a lot of, calls and interest, like, okay, well, how did you make it into that department? Like, how did you get there? So I think that's the importance with really having a message to share and ensuring that you are raising your voice in these rooms, right? I am not shy to, express when I don't agree with something and when I think we're not necessarily making the right choice or, should consider going through things in a different path. And I'm always willing to share that perspective. And I think it welcomes other perspectives, right? And that's how you can truly have innovation, right? Mm-hmm. Because if we're sitting in these echo chambers where everything that we say is agreed, it's like, okay, what are we doing differently here? Like, we need those different perspectives. And so that is why I definitely take it upon myself to ensure that I am very visible and that I'm always sharing a message and that my message is valuable, right? So data is very important in being able to have, the evidence of what you're trying to convey, right? What that message is. So that's why I love data. And although I'm not in the ends of it, it's a very, very valuable tool for storytelling, for empowerment, like even, again, to support me maybe making a dissenting, opinion on something that everyone is sitting at the table saying, yeah, this is the way to go. And it's like, well, actually, our data does not really reflect that, So, I take that responsibility, and I think it's very important to kind of like, step up. And also speak for those that may not necessarily want to, because I think that's the beauty about our culture as well, right? We are very community driven. And so I know I always also want to hear those voices that you don't normally hear. And it's like, okay, but I'm curious about your perspective. Maybe you don't feel that this is a safe space for you to share it. I'm going to try to create that space for you. But even if you don't want to share, let's talk about it so that I can hear your point of view as well. So that kind of leads to psychological safety, which is another key component and like one of the key pillars of my management style. I want to ensure that I'm fostering that environment for my employees and for all of the stakeholders that I deal with, that they're able to share, constructive feedback, things that are going well, things that, we can work on better so that we can come up with the right solution that's going to make us all successful.
Wow, that was amazing. And I'm sure your employees appreciate the fact that they can come to you, and
Yes.
with your confidence, you're able to get their points across too, which is very,
Yeah, I have to say I do have a pretty engaged workforce.
that's good.
And, yeah, they're very active.
Okay, great. Okay, next, Yamil. Actually, this is for Christian. What is the most exciting project you've worked on?
Oh, that question for me is not easy. As I say, I am blessed. I have the opportunity to be in a complex environments. As I say, data warehouse in a telecom is amazing. Really, I mean, all the opportunity to be there, or in a coal mine, you imagine what you can do with the data. But to me personally, I think that I have two projects that make my passion, my love in what I'm doing. First one is Comunidad. We have 5 years doing that, and let me share
It's your
some.
birthday. It's their birthday on
Yes, it's coming.
Thursday.
Yes, the
On
next
Thursday.
the Thursday we are going to celebrate the Comunidades. And let me share something. Can you see my screen or not yet?
No, not yet.
Yes.
What about now?
Now.
And this is the webpage of Comunidades, the original page that we created. This logo has the history that is coming from Rui's wife. Rui is the founder of Comunidades. And from here, Comunidades grow in amazing leaders that basically every of the leaders or is a ambassador or is a visionary or is working in Salesforce. Many of us go to Salesforce and now is working there. And a part of that, we basically begin to create a place where you can see a lot of areas that you can basically hear new persons, new speakers, give the opportunity to people that never have the time to speak in public. And we basically train or give the parameters to say, hey, you can do it. It's more easy than you think. And then from there, move to a big areas or convert to a person that is active in the communities. And this is something that makes us proud that basically as the New York, basically we are creating like a cells that is beginning to spread to many regions, to many countries. And they basically begin to say, oh, we have a local comunidades in Mexico, in Costa Rica, Buenos Aires, Peru, or we keep the big one. And now we introduce New York. We need to send the logo. That is one of my personal, it's not easy to create a community from scratch and keep it alive. It's not easy to do something that is basically with voluntary organization uh, and not resources and keep it as it is right now. Then it's something that give me, like a full, like I really full happy be there. And my second one, only really quick, is that just from starting this year, basically, we with another data dev ambassadors, we created a data dev quest. That the idea is to mimic what is doing over Monday. Makeover Monday or WoW. Uh, that basically the do is create a monthly challenge about data depth in Tableau. Then basically here you can create, you can follow the instructions about, hey, I don't know anything about this, then I can begin, and then I want to begin about embedded API and follow the steps, and then you can do it by yourself. And at the end, it's a challenge that you can submit and then like I learn about that, and the next month we are going to present the solution for that. Then this is something that also makes me like really happy. Is I'm working really hard with other friends uh, to basically keep this open, and, and it's another project that I am proud to be with that.
Amazing. Thank you. We are so happy you started Comuni Datos. And also, I know we have some data dev fans over here. So I like workout Wednesdays and makeover Mondays. It's fun to have another little weekly challenge. Or this one's going to be monthly, right?
The challenge is monthly.
A nice monthly challenge. Cool. I'll be looking out for that. Okay, so next is for Yamil.
Mhm.
What unique perspectives do you think Latinos bring to the analytics and tech industry? So
So
unique perspective.
yeah. No, this is a great question. I was just thinking about this question a lot. I will say, we are natural translators. And why would I say that? Think about us Latinos. Even we're here, we're from different countries where we speak Spanish, or I have friends from Brazil, and we grew up balancing different cultures and different languages. So if you think about it, we are kind of like natural translators, and so that's great for the tech industry because we are able to connect data to people in a way that resonates. We are resilience. We're very creative. We're very good with doing things that are different or out of the box, and we often find a way to move forward because many of us have limited resources when we come to the United States or things like that. So we have all of these things that make us very resilient, and we can you know thrive in the tech environment or in a tech industry or anything like that, or a tech company. And most importantly, we bring community. You need community when you're in the tech industry or anything related to data because you're learning from each other. Not everything is in ChatGPT yet, so kind of like you have to have a community. And what other thing that I like is we celebrate together. We're here looking out for each other. We have the minds of helping to create inclusive teams, and also we when you come from other countries and other things, we always are kind of like talking about storytelling. When I talk to Christian and everybody, he may be telling me something that he did in Colombia, and I'm telling him something about Puerto Rico, and it's just we kind of like always talking about stories and things like that. It's part of our culture to be somebody like that. So I think we have incredible impact on the tech industry, and especially if you're in BI or data, because we're, like I said, we're translators, we're data storytellers, or storytellers in our own way. So that resonates, and it's great for us to be in this industry. We actually need more Latinos and in this industry. Yeah.
Definitely
Totally
agree.
agree. And I would like to add to that on the bilingual aspect. I think it also just makes us natural, like problem solvers as well, right? Like able to identify like what is the problem here that we are trying to solve that the data can help us inform the decision on how to move forward. So totally agree with you, Damien. Good point.
Yeah, very an amazing, unique perspective. I never thought about it like that. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, I think this is the last single question for you, Caryl. Was there a moment when you felt truly seen or represented in your career?
So last year for Hispanic Heritage Month, I was recognized and by the Latinos and Friends ERG in the MTA, and that was a recognition, or the way that it came about was your colleagues voting for you. So it was just a confirmation of how I was viewed by my peers, right, and the impact that I had, and also them recognizing my heritage, right, and recognizing the impact as a Latina woman. So it was very validating, especially having the support from colleagues, from other departments as well, other stakeholders that I deal with, because my department is very unique in the way that we operate. So we have a lot of stakeholders that don't necessarily work within our department. So it was very rewarding to get, that recognition. And it was actually done at the Madison Gray Bar building by Time Union. No, not Union. What am I thinking? Grand Central. Sorry. But yeah, so that was a proud moment for me for sure. I was actually one of the Spanish speaking, and I am currently doing that as well. I am one of the Spanish language teaching fluent speakers for other colleagues. And that's one of the initiatives that I do with the Latinos and Friends ERG. So I think that also had an impact because I've been doing that since the beginning. So it's been like 4 years now. And we always do it for this time period, like Hispanic Heritage Month. So yeah, that was a very proud moment for me to receive that recognition by executives and, basically being nominated by my peers. Yeah.
Okay. Christian says congratulations.
Thank you, Christian.
And also to the point of in Miami, it's funny we speak both languages, and the people who are speaking do not notice. That is every time I go home. You start at the cashier with hello, and then you end with ciao. Like it's always a little mixed in between the Spanglish, and it happens in my daily life too. I can't really think of the word in English; it just comes out in Spanish, and
Yeah.
it goes with being natural translators.
That is really funny because any person that change and use a word in Spanish, then everybody's speaking in Spanish. And when someone everybody's speaking in English, and nobody knows that he's doing that.
You don't realize always with the cashiers. Like immediately that's where it started when I was younger. You just start switching, and the next thing you know, you're switching all the time back and forth. And people, outsiders, will be like, "What just happened?" Like, I didn't even realize. But yeah, I love that about our culture. It's amazing. Okay, last question. This is a bit more of a wrap up advice. So this is for everyone. If you could leave the audience with one takeaway about embracing both culture and data in their careers, what would it be? Yeah, maybe do you want to go first?
Yeah, this is a very good, excellent question. I think the biggest takeaway is this: your culture is not something that separates from your career. It's an advantage. Thinks about that to be an advantage. I mean, if we think about data, right? About data in general, doesn't matter if you use Tableau or whatever, however, whatever you do with data, it's all about perspective, and culture shapes the way that you see maybe patterns, connect to people, ask questions, solve problems. So it's just all of that, the culture, all those experiences from other countries, or things that are your own culture. It's that a big advantage. And so when you use all of that, I mean, think about how can you shape perspective in data. So when you bring your language, your tradition, your values, and you work with data, you make the insights, I think, more human, richer, better. So you embrace both of that, and so let your culture guide you to ask questions and tell very different stories with your data. And we can see that when I think I forgot her name. Sandra, right? Was the one that presented the first the biz of the day. I forgot your name. Sorry, Brenda. So that's a very good example, right? Because Brenda didn't separate her culture from the data. She brought in her experience, her things that she knows from Mexico, whatever, and she put it together and created a storytelling. And we can see it there, right there, how amazing that is. And that's what she deserves Biz of the Day, because it's just not even a great visualization. It's also great storytelling. And she put her culture with the data and created something amazing. So I think that's the key here, and the impact that you can create is just make sure that you know that culture that you have is just an advantage for your career. Yeah.
And made it fun. And
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
Like joy. Like you're instantly like, it's so pretty. It's just so colorful. Beautiful.
Exactly. Well,
Okay.
thank you.
Do you want to go next? Thank you, Yamin, for that last takeaway.
Yeah, so I kind of am of the same mindset as you, Jamil. I think with the storytelling, I think that is like our superpower. And when we are creating these visualizations or using the data, I think it's important to just like truly reflect on what is the story that we're trying to tell here, and then what is the information that I need to best convey this message. And just using our power of our superpower of just storytelling and presenting it beautifully to get the buy-in of who we are sharing this information with. So I think that is truly what we have to tap into, just that storytelling community aspect, right? Getting everyone involved, understanding that we're looking at the bigger picture as like a larger community. So seeing things at that scale as well, and how it can be very inclusive and diverse at the same time.
Thank you. Okay. Last, Christian, one last takeaway.
Yes, on my part, I fully agree with both speakers. Jamil, you nailed it, saying that the advantage that you get with the culture. For me, be Latin is has passion for what you are doing. Is also the benefit of be Latin is that you grow in an environment that need to be adapted, and that is really important because you need to learn new technologies, learn new process, learn new ways to do this different things that for every time is new. I was joking with a friend that is a doctor and say, hey, I told that the doctor, the medical doctors basically need to learn every time, and we already passed it because it's like a multiply by 10,000. We every day are learning something fully new, and the adaptation part is important, and our culture have it because all the history making changes and in the top only to basically survive. Then that is my takeaway. I want to bring some history also that I want to show you. Can you see my screen right now? Fernando Perez? I can.
Sí, se ve, sí.
Okay.
Yes.
See, sorry.
This last part that I want to show you is this. Hey, everybody of you, you are an ambassador. And why an ambassador? Because there are people that doesn't know our culture, and the only thing that they know about culture is you. Then don't be afraid to follow your instinct and begin to do things only because you want to do it and like to do it. This is an excellent example. Fernando Perez is a Colombian, is Paisa, is from Medellin, and he was the creator of IPython. IPython is basically the source or the core part of Jupyter project, and Jupyter is basically everything that is related with data science comes originally from this project called Jupyter project. And then one guy, Colombian, Latin, create this and basically change everything that we know right now. And be a Fernando. You can do it. You can be there. You can create your own, for example, the Data Quest Challenge. Begin from an idea and now is making people interested in a new thing. You can create small things or big things, but begin to do it. And then you can show others Latins that they can do it too. And that is only my message to close.
I love that. Be a Fernando. And it's crazy because I've used Jupyter Notebook and I didn't even know that it was a Colombian who.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, does anyone in the audience have any last questions or anything that they want to tell to any of the speakers before we close? Yeah.
Just, what would you tell to people that are like, oh, I don't see somebody like me up there. I don't see somebody that I can relate to when they want to be inspired to take that step into a data or tech career. What is one piece of advice that you usually share to people that say something like that? If you ever had somebody say something like that to you.
Were you able to hear that?
Kind of. Can you, if you can, Sabrina, if you can repeat. Yeah.
I'm really bad
Yeah,
at it.
it was along the lines of what is one piece of advice that you would tell someone who says, "Oh, I don't see myself up there," and how like yeah.
Like, how do I take the first step if I don't see?
Yeah, how would
inspiration?
who am I, like why am I going to be the first? So just how do I take the first step if I feel
How do you become the next Fernando or Fernando?
how do you become the next
That first step. How do you push somebody to get there?
Okay, about data, in my case, my response, sorry, I took the leader there. In my
General.
answer about that is, a data is basically a pyramid that you have data as a mathematical things, art as something that you want to make beautiful, and like the dashboard that you are presenting, basically, it's not only beautiful as a look, it's beautiful as a simple to take decisions, for example. And the last part is business. Then basically, and business as a real solution of problems. For example, in a supply chain, you can imagine how many complex things that you need to do that is in the business area that reduce costs, that make that the thing happen. Then any of these points that you show you can play basically in a really gross area that you can say, no, now I notice that I like maths, but I like more to create something beautiful. Then you can move to the art area. And then if that is what you choose, you can begin with Tableau Public, creating some dashboard, creating something that at the end the community can support you. And only let me know when you begin with that, because I can connect with many people that, like Pablo is a community leader for Tableau Public, and with that can launch it to show what you can do. And then when you begin to believe who are you, then you are going to basically build stuff that at the end, when you come back, you say, hey, I didn't know that I can do this stuff. And that is the way how you can be a Fernando.
And I would say just getting started. I mean, I think that is the biggest thing in terms of we can have all the information, we can have all the resources, we can have all the knowledge, but until you don't actually get started in that process, you're not going to know the challenges that you need to overcome. Like, it's in taking that action that you start, like, the path becomes clear. It's as you're taking those actions, those steps will appear. So I think it's important to just begin with that first step of just what it is that you want to do and just getting it done. And that applies to anything, not just data and tech, but in life in general.
I would just say that I agree 100% with Cristian and everybody else. And I think one of the parts that how you become Fernando or somebody like that is the share part of it. So whatever you do, whatever, it doesn't matter if it's great, amazing. It doesn't matter if you start sharing. It's kind of like a bug that gets into you. Like you're saying, I wanted to share my whatever I'm creating. I want to share my thoughts. I want to share something that I just learned, and then it just happens that you want to keep sharing, and then you will maybe not even realize, and then you will become someone that has like 10 12,000 followers in LinkedIn or something like that, and then you will be like someone that it just happens, because you're sharing, you're helping other people, and also telling others what you're learning. And it's just something that for some reason, I don't even know exactly why it is, but it just happens that it becomes something that people seek out to you, and people see that you maybe discover something that others can use, and it becomes something amazing, and it just something that you will, I mean, most people, I will say, love to do, because as you're sharing, other people are saying what you can do, and then you can you become some Fernando, and you can discover something you don't even know that you would want to maybe discover. You maybe were not thinking about that, but it's something that just happens, and it's just great.
Your growth is more important
Oh,
than
wait,
your
you've been
pride.
showing up the whole time you've been on mute.
I know. I had clicked on mute and it didn't unmute.
Did you guys hear me?
Sorry, no, it didn't. I thought it did.
Okay, so I'm sharing to the point that you were just making, Jamil, that I took a screenshot of something along these lines, and it says, "Don't be afraid to fail in public. People who are doing the work will be too busy to judge you for your shortcomings. People who are spectating wish they had the courage to jump into the arena, and those become your supporters. your growth is more important than your pride. So that is how you will find your people. Absolutely. When you let people know what you're up to, they're gonna come. Yeah. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for a great question. Anyone else? Nope. I think we are over time, so I'll let you guys go. If you guys want any more food, there's food. Thank you guys. Thank all the panelists for coming. Also one last thing. Christian said, Andy Kriebel always said, do not delete what you shared. It shows your progress. Especially those first
That's
visualizations.
true.
So those first visualizations, your data school applications, keep them up because
Yes, when people see the
before
first
and after.
version of like whatever.
And then you see a papel picado,
Yeah.
you're like, wow. All right, thank you everyone who joined online.
Thank you.
Let me just, sorry.
Also, connect with us, with Christian, with myself on LinkedIn, and with Community Datos, and all invited to be or participate in Community Datos, please, and share with anyone that you know, Hispanic, Latino, in the U.S. or not. It doesn't have to be in the U.S. It doesn't matter. I mean, we're international, so share with anyone about user group.
Yeah, and we have the QR code to the user group page on here, Comunidatos. Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else for June?
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.